Hello everyone. Our topic for today is about transition period in a group. The highlights of our topic is storming, norms, and norming. For the storming, the topic to be discussed are the following: peer relationship and storming, resistance during storming, task processes and storming, working through storming, and the last one is results of working through storming. And then under the norms, we will discuss about peer relations during norming, skills to promote norming, and the last one, results of norming. When does the transition period in a group begin? So kailan nga ba nagsisimula yung transition period in a group? The transition period in the group is the time after the forming process and before the working stage. In a group that lasts 12 to 15 sessions, this period begins in the second or third group session and usually extends for 1 to 3 meetings. The transition period begins with the storming stage, which members start to complete with others to find their place in the group. This unsettling aspect of the group involves struggles over power and control that may be both overt and covert. So we will come now to storming, the time of conflict and anxiety. Storming is a time of conflict and anxiety when group moves from primary tension to secondary tension. During this period, if the group is functioning well, it works out its threshold for tension and reaches a balance between too little and too much tension. Group members and leaders struggle with issues connected with first one, structure, the second one, direction, control, catharsis, interpersonal relationship. How are these conflicts be resolved? Conflicts are resolved through conflict resolution, which is based on underlying notion that conflict is essentially negative and destructive. It is primary focus is on ending a specific conflict. The second one is conflict management. Basis that conflict can be positive. Focus is on directing conflict toward a constructive dialogue. So we will come now to the storming, which is peer relationship and storming. When we say peer relationship and storming, it is a group members are at first uneasy in their interactions with one another. They are afraid of losing control, being misunderstood, or looking foolish or being rejected. Their concern for power is also dominant during storming. There is information power, influential power, and authoritative power. When we say information power, it is based on the idea that people who know more are capable to exert more control over situations, including those involving people. When we say influential power, people who have the ability to persuade and manipulate can easily convince others to take certain course of action. And when we say authoritative power, it premised on social position and responsibility in an organization. Authoritative means pulling rank, may be used to try to influence members of groups that include individuals of unequal status, such as those in task or work groups. So we are done with storming, peer relationship and storming, resistance during storming. So let's come now with resistance during storming. When we say resistance, it's any behavior that moves the group away from areas of discomfort, conflict, or potential growth. There are forms of indirect resistance. The first one is intellectualization. The second one is questioning. The third one is advice giving. The fourth one is band aiding. And for the fifth one, we have dependency. When we say intellectualization, it is characterized by an emphasis on abstraction with minimal amount of affect or emotion. When we say questioning, it is a question that is often a disguise for a statement. For advice giving, it is instructing someone on what to do in a particular situation. When we say band aiding, it is misuse of support. Dependency, group members who displays dependency behavior. There are forms of direct resistance, monopolizing and attack on a group leader. When we say monopolizing, it is when a person or persons in the group dominate the group's time through excessive talking or activity that is often irrelevant to the group's task. When we say attack on a group leader, it is most direct form of resistance that causes groups difficulty. So we are done with the storming, peer relationship and storming, resistance during storming. We will come now to the task process in storming. When we say task process and storming, it is appeared to regress during storming potential problem in the suspension of effort to accomplish a task that is someone may be blamed or scapegoated for the group's lack of achievement. There is a great deal of attention on personal matters such as group safety, leader competence, trust, ways of interacting. It is healthy that this pause in the group takes place, for it allows everyone the opportunity of re-evaluating goals and directions. It also provides a change for group participants to look before they leap toward the process of change. A potential problem in the suspension of effort to accomplish a task is that someone in the group may be blamed or scapegoated for the group's lack of achievement. To scapegoat is to project the group's problems onto a single individual instead of the group taking responsibility for creating and resolving its difficulties. So we are done with storming, peer relationship and storming, resistance during storming, task process in storming. We will come now to working through storming. Methods for working through forms of problematic intra and interpersonal group issues. There is the process observer, process of leveling. Group members acknowledge what is occurring in the group. Getting feedback. There are two types of getting feedback. The first one is informal feedback, and the second one is formal feedback. We are done with storming, peer relationship and storming, resistance during storming, task process and storming, working through storming, and now we will come to results of working through storming. When the group works through storming, especially in regard to resistance, the group takes a new dimension. There are five dominant conflict management orientation. The first one is collaborating, the second one is competing, the third one is accommodating, the fourth one is avoiding, the fifth one is compromising. When we say collaborating, it happens when individuals work with others to find solutions that satisfy the concerns of both. When we say competing, members pause, pursue their own concerns at other people's expense. When we say accommodating, it happens when individuals work with others to find solutions that satisfy the concerns of both. When we say avoiding, individuals do not immediately pursue their concerns or those other persons. When we say compromising, individuals attempt to find mutually acceptable solutions that partially satisfy both parties. We will come now to norms and norming. When we say norms, it is expectations about group members' behavior that should or should not take place. When we say group norming, feeling of we-ness, identity, groupness, or cohesiveness that comes when individuals feel they belong to an association or organization larger than themselves. We will come now to peer relations during norming. There is identification, here and now experiences, hope, cooperation, collaboration, cohesion, task processing during norming, agreement on the establishment of norms or rules and standards from which to operate the group commitment. We are done with norms, peer relations during norming, skills to promote, and now we will come to skills to promote norming. Here are the skills to promote norming. The first one is supporting, second one is empathizing, third one is facilitating, fourth one is self-disclosure. We are done with norms, peer relations during norming, skills to promote norming, and we will come now to results of norming. The results of norming are the group will be ready for the next step in its developmental process working. Give members guidelines under which to operate. And norming helps members in the group feel good about themselves and the group as a whole. So let me end my presentation by saying this. When it comes to solving problems, work beats worry. Remember, it is better to fix than to fret. Thank you.